Welcome everyone. Today we are with cacao expert Juliette Bryant and she's going to tell us the top 10 benefits of cacao.
Well, I'm going to start by just giving you a quick rundown on the top 5 and then we're going to go into more detail.
Okay.
So, cacao opens your heart to the love you are and supports your heart in so many ways we'll be getting into. It helps to nourish and regulate the nervous system, super important in today's day and age. It helps with our mood and our emotional well-being, bring balance and stability to our emotional well-being. It helps give us gentle energy. It helps to increase our blood flow and our oxygenation, really important. And it also, oh, that's 5.
That's 5.
That's 5.
Well, hold on a minute.
That was quick.
We're going to get into 10. We're going to get into the full 10. I would say, for me, you know, it's so nourishing. And, I mean, if you have a drink like this here, in a lovely cup, I feel held, I feel nourished.
Yeah.
I feel comforted, I feel warm inside. I feel it opening me up, really, to if you like, a spiritual perception. And also opening me up to a physical perception, which we might get into later. So, Juliet, tell us a little bit about your journey before we get into this, you know, all of these top 10 things. Tell us a bit about your journey with cacao, which we would say is pure chocolate, raw chocolate.
So I came across raw cacao, must have been about 17 years ago.
Oh, you don't look old enough.
Well, first of all, it was David Wolfe's book, Naked Chocolate, that I came across with Shazzy. And
Yes.
I was into raw food and found that and found out about raw cacao. And wow, it just blew me away. And I started to work with cacao, making chocolate smoothies, you know, bringing cacao into my life. And then a good friend of ours actually ran a raw chocolate workshop.
Okay, so a shout out to Ben Hubbard
Ben
if you're
Hubbard,
listening. Ben
you
Hubbard.
really opened me up to cacao on a whole new level
So
and
to
how
speak.
to make my own chocolates. And that was revolutionary for not only for myself, but also for my work, because I started to really connect with cacao on this deeper level and teaching people how to make their own chocolates that were medicinal, that included all these other superfoods, because cacao is a carrier. You know, it brings other medicines in with it and allows them to be absorbed into the body really easily. So I started running raw chocolate workshops, which was a really powerful lesson for people and an entrance into a whole world of superfoods and also an entrance into themselves and into that deeper connection with the earth. And from there, I connected into ceremonial cacao. And I think the ceremonial cacao aspect really came alongside my deepening knowledge of not just nutrition, but of the wisdom of the earth. This understanding that plants, trees, mushrooms, us, everything has a spirit. Everything has that deeper energy. And that's what really started to connect into the spirit of cacao, as opposed to cacao being a commodity and just something we consume, and taking it into that deeper relationship.
Yes. Now, let's just talk about chocolate for a minute, shall we? And maybe the distinctions, because who doesn't like a nice bit of chocolate? And you'll probably go to countries nearly all over the world and you'll find, you know, often, we're not going to mention the brands here, but you'll often find these types of chocolate and these processed types of chocolate, which they often will blend with
Emulsifiers, sugar,
yeah,
dairy.
Yeah, exactly. They'll often put these other things in it, but that's not what we're drinking here,
No.
and that's not what we're making in the chocolate. So can you just tell us a little bit about the history of how the chocolate bars are all around the world, and about the difference between that and what we might call real chocolate?
So the Spanish came across cacao when they went over to Mexico and South America, Peru, Ecuador, Guatemala, all these places that have Venezuela cacao. And the Spanish found out about it, and cacao had the same weight as gold. So it was revered.
The same weight as gold?
Same weight as in society. they viewed cacao in the same
Oh,
weight as
at
gold.
the same. Oh, it wasn't the same
Same
weight.
value.
Okay,
Same
yep,
value
yep,
as
yep.
gold.
Same
So
value as
cacao
gold, right.
was used ceremonially. It was used at special occasions. It had this deep, people had this deep connection to it because they knew the power of the medicine.
Yeah.
It is a powerful plant medicine. Anyway, the Spanish aristocrats took it back.
Took it back where?
Took it back to Spain.
They took it back to Spain.
So they were
got
drinking
they got the beans.
the beans. They
They've
were
got the
drinking
cacao
the
beans.
pure beans,
They're drinking their like we're
like
having
a
here.
nice hot chocolate,
Yeah.
unadulterated.
Yeah.
And word got out to the masses about this new drink.
Oh.
And the aristocrats didn't want the commoners having this level of power. So they did a few things to it. They roasted the cacao beans, number one.
Right.
They added sugar
They cooked the books.
and they added dairy.
Yes.
Now, raw cacao has over 360 active chemicals and minerals supporting us in so many ways, physically and energetically. And when you roast it, mix it with sugar and dairy. And when I'm talking about sugar, I'm talking about refined sugar.
Yeah. So
And
this
also-
would have been a bit later on that they would have
Yeah.
sugar, because sugar wouldn't have been around for hundreds of years after.
So this process
the process, yeah.
of this all
Yeah.
diminished the effects of the chocolate. Because if you eat a chocolate bar that's been roasted, the sugar and dairy, you don't get the same feeling you get when you drink raw
No, you
cacao.
probably only get a small amount of chocolate as well, do you?
Well, now
a small amount of the
actually,
beans.
a very famous brand of chocolate maker cannot call their chocolate anymore because it does not have enough cocoa content in it.
Yes.
Which is mental. 40%, you have to have 40% cocoa content, and
Yes.
and these chocolate bars don't.
No.
So when we're working with cacao, ceremonial cacao, we're working with the highest grade of cacao, these heirloom varieties, so traditional varieties that haven't been hybridized and haven't been grown in the same kind of way. So we're looking at these ancient ways of growing.
Yes.
They're grown in what's known as chakras, which I think
Yes.
is a lovely...
And it grows on trees.
Grows on trees, yes.
Yep,
And we've been and
pod.
seen it growing in India. Very beautiful trees. And the cacao itself has so many medicinal benefits to it. So this is what we're getting back into, how we can work with cacao and how we can come back into relationship as cacao being a plant medicine that is here to help us to reconnect with the love that we are.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So Juliet, you said 17 years ago, you read David Wolfe's book Naked Chocolate, excellent book there, and Shazzy as well. Shout out to Shazzy. Ben Hubbard initiates you in the way of making raw chocolate.
Yep.
And then you're off on your journey, travelling around the world, experimenting with how to make the very best. And I actually will say you do make the best raw chocolate drinks. These drinks you make really are the best.
And many people have said that and come
Well,
on my my workshops and my things to
Yes, and
learn
you've-
how to make it.
And you've been around the world showing people how to do it as well in recent times. But before we get into more of this list, Julia, I just want you to tell the viewers out there and the listeners out there about something really exciting that you're doing, about how you can really share the knowledge and the how-to
Yeah.
of the Way of Cacao.
One of the things that came to me not so long ago when I've deepened my work so much with connecting with the spirit is that a lot of people holding ceremonies maybe haven't got the containers quite right, maybe haven't got that training, that knowledge around how to hold sacred space. And for me, this is one of the most important things. How to hold a safe space for people to really connect with whatever needs to come up.
Yes.
So people are doing cacao ceremonies everywhere now. It's becoming a lot more of a thing.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Which is amazing on a level, but not so amazing if we're not holding people properly. So this really came from this desire, and cacao really spoke to me, Mama Cacao, and said, you need to start teaching people how to run ceremonies, not just for cacao, but for all different medicines. So
Yes.
the Way of Cacao training which is a certified accredited training developed. It's an online 8-week program. And this really, I think, is the start of your journey if you've not worked with cacao, so that you can really connect more deeply. So within this 8-week training, we learn how to hold space, how to call in the directions, how to work with whatever comes up for people, how to guide people through a healing journey, and most importantly, how to connect into the spirit of cacao so that she can guide you, as opposed to you guiding things, your ego guiding. It's connecting into how does this plant want to work with you and others, so that you can become that facilitator for the message coming through the cacao. How you can work ethically with cacao, you know, sustainably, all of these beautiful things we'll be looking at, and how you can make beautiful, beautiful drinks so that people can share in this experience.
That's a wonderful thing. So when's it starting, Juliet, and how do people find out more information?
So it starts on the 27th of April for this first round. It's an 8-week online program, as I said. You can do it from anywhere around the world. It's on Zoom, Telegram group for support, and it's on my website, julietbryant.com.
Wonderful. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. I know you've prepared and you've shared some of these things here, but I just want to get into some of the specifics. Why is it that women, often around their time of the month, will grab a big bar and eat it like a pig?
It is, cacao actually has the highest, most bioavailable source of magnesium on the planet. And this is really important because women in their menstrual cycles become quite depleted of magnesium. And magnesium is essential for the hormonal cycle. So the reason women crave that is to support that magnesium load. Now, with a low dose of magnesium in your system, you're more likely to suffer from PMS. So cramps, mood swings, emotional outbursts, all of those things. So boosting that magnesium is key. So that's one of the reasons. Cacao is a mood enhancer. So it increases our neurotransmitter production. So it increases serotonin and tryptophan and dopamine levels. So what this does is, again, it allows that feel-good factor. So when your body's feeling depleted, when it's feeling low, when it's wanting that hug, you know, so often for women in today's society, we're in this, we have to go all the time. You know, society is derived towards a man's cycle. So a man's hormonal cycle is 24 hours. A woman's is 28 to 30 days.
Yes.
And so we go through lots of changes within a month, whereas you go through those changes all in a day.
Yes.
And when it comes to that time of month, or if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, cacao comes in even more then.
Yes.
Because the woman feels lower. She needs a hug. She needs more nourishment, more nurturing. And the cacao offers that energetically and physically. So many incredible nutrients are in cacao, but that heart connection, that feeling supported, those neurotransmitters, all of those things, and the nervous system regulation really helps support a woman in her cycle.
So the woman reaches for the big bar.
Yes.
Right. And this is what I'm saying is, why do they just pig it?
Great question.
Why are they have some, but it's not enough?
No, because that bar of chocolate most of the time has been roasted with the sugar and the dairy. So the cacao content is minimal. So their body, our bodies are so intelligent.
Yes.
And what our body knows is cacao, chocolate, equals I'm going to feel good, I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel nourished, I'm going to feel all these things. But they eat it and they're like, I'm not getting it, so I need more.
Yes.
And this comes back to the principle of the minimum optimum diet, which is what raw food has been based on. It's like you eat a small amount of food with a vast amount of nutrients and your body goes, I'm full. As opposed to society, the chocolate bar, where we're eating a large amount of something which has a very small amount of the nutrients it's meant to contain. So when you have your ceremonial cacao, you can't drink more than 1 cup of this maybe you could have 2 in a day, but that's maxing it.
Yeah.
Because this is so dense with nutrients, because it's not been roasted, because all of those 360 active chemicals and minerals are present in this. So we've not lost it. So that's why you drink this and your body goes, oh, there we go, that hit the spot.
Yeah. So the dairy that's put with a lot of chocolate, not all chocolate, of course, there's a lot of vegan chocolate now available, but say for some years, I've been told that it negates the absorption of the magnesium. Is that correct?
Yeah, it can negate
the calcium.
it can negate
animal calcium.
the absorption of the magnesium, but it's more that what that dairy does, something in it is actually blocking. It's not just the dairy, but the roasted chocolate in itself is blocking the absorption. Also, when you've got the refined sugar in there, refined sugar is an anti-nutrient. So when you're having that refined sugar, it's been stripped of its 32 minerals. Let's say it's cane sugar. So when you eat something with refined sugar in, your body has to reclaim those 32 minerals that were meant to be in that in order just to process it.
Yeah.
So the chocolate's got some of those minerals. So instead of it going to you, it goes straight just to basically negating the refined sugar. So you're missing out on that.
What you're saying is that the pure cacao acts like a medicine on your system, and your body understands what it is.
Yes.
So that the woman or the man is getting these boost of nutrients and these good boost for the brain chemicals, these neurotransmitters, and you're feeling good. But that there's some subconscious knowing, let's say in the premenstrual woman, who thinks chocolate's going to make me better, but then they have it and it's giving them a bit of a spike.
Yep.
And then they crash, and then when they crash, they just think, I'll have some more, and then they've eaten a whole bar.
They're not getting what they're looking for. They're not getting...
They know what they're looking for.
Exactly. Their body's intelligent. Our bodies are so intelligent. Our body knows what it needs. That's why it's craving the chocolate.
Right.
But we're just often giving it to it in the wrong form.
Right. So we know what we... But then the advertisers out there, they say, oh, have this. I mean, you go to a petrol station...
No, it's filled with chocolate bars.
There's... the one that I go to, there must be 50 different chocolate bars, and not one of them's vegan. Can you talk about the libido enhancing effects of cacao? Because I'm sure that's one of your 10.
Well, the thing about cacao is it opens your heart. So it's opening your heart. As I mentioned briefly before, the neurotransmitters that it's linked to are working on affection as well as just love. So it softens your barriers. It lowers those barriers between people. So it's opening us up to wanting to be more cuddly. It was
lowering the barriers with Montezuma and his harem, wasn't it?
So it wants you to be closer to people. But also with the magnesium, it's balancing your mood, balancing your hormones. For men and women, this isn't just for women. But also what it's working on is the gut-brain axis. So it's actually supporting your gut health. But on that gut-brain axis, it's helping to regulate the nervous system. Now, when your nervous system is regulated, when you're calm and relaxed, you perform better. Right. So it's helping your natural libido be where it should be. So it also contains theobromine, and theobromine is a sister component to caffeine. So it energizes us, but gently. So it's a stimulant, but not such a stimulant as caffeine, which is up and down.
Yeah.
So it's a small stimulating effect. It's hormone balancing, it's nervous system balancing, it's gut balancing. So it's creating that optimum space in your body for it to go, ooh, and bring in that excitement. Plus the serotonin, the tryptophan, all of those feel-good hormones are going to help you to want to increase your libido naturally. Because naturally we all have a good libido. It's the stress, it's all those other things.
Yeah, toxins.
So cacao has been linked to fertility because of the things I've been talking about. A lot of fertility issues are based in lack of nutrients. Most people walking around are nutritionally deficient. So when you add in the good nutrients, this supports the body working how it's meant to. We wouldn't, as a society, be here if we didn't have good fertility rates. So they're linked to our nutrition. So that's something that is so key. So cacao helps us with that. Again, magnesium is a key nutrient for fertility.
Right.
And also, if you're feeling relaxed, you're feeling calm, your gut's working, all of these body systems are working as they should. Also, cacao is high in antioxidants. It's high in polyphenols. Polyphenols are very good for the digestive system, for the bacterial balance. The antioxidants help with our resilience and our aging. So the less we can age, the more resilient we are, the more we're going to have a better ability to procreate.
Brilliant. Okay, so another question for you. You ran an in-person Way of Cacao retreat. It was over 4 days in Glastonbury earlier on in the year. wonderful event, absolutely brilliant event, so much fun that everyone had. What do you think were some of the takeaways that people had, the goddesses that were on that event? What's some of the takeaways that people had from learning the Way of Cacao from you?
So I think one of the things that was so powerful was we had an actual cacao pod there, not a dried one, a fresh one. And we sat and communed with the cacao pod. It was passed round, it was there for all our ceremonies. And on the last day, we opened it up and we consumed the fresh beans. And then everyone took one away to try and plant. And I tell you what, that cacao, just the connection with the living pod was so profound. We also did a very incredible experience we had where I guided people through connecting to the spirit of cacao and actually channeling that in a healing way. And that was phenomenal. So I think for people, what they really got was the spirit. They understood and connected with the spirit of cacao so profoundly, as opposed to just the cacao drink, the superficial level that so often people connect. It was a very deep, profound experience for people.
Because one of the things that I've found is doing your cacao ceremonies, and even sitting here now and having this drink, it's to be mindful of, it's just when you take a sip and rather than you just guzzling it down, or like I say, this unconsciousness, eating that bar of chocolate, it's that mindfulness and then that connection to what we could call the plant spirit medicine, if you wanted to use those terms, where there's so much potency, isn't there? And I think that's a key of healing that's possibly difficult to talk about, but you can experience in it. And I know in your training that you've got coming up, you'll be doing lots of meditations to help people connect so they can experience that essence of it.
That is actually one of my top 10 things, is it brings you into presence. So cacao, the ritual of it brings you into the present moment. It brings you into that connection with yourself, and through that connection with yourself, your connection to the earth. And this is the most profound thing, and this is the kind of essence of all of my work. All of my work is to guide people back to themselves and back into the earth, that remembrance of our place on this planet as part, not separate from it. So when you think about it like that, cacao is our sister, brother. We are in relationship because we are in relationship with every living thing, because we are one with this planet.
Yes.
We're not separate from it. We're not walking on it. And for me, cacao, the essence of cacao, when you stop and you make a cup of cacao and you sit and you hold it to your heart and you connect with your intention and you take a sip and you feel it, because of the way that you make cacao, the thickness of it, the quality of the taste of it, it brings you into, you can feel it on your taste buds. You can tangibly feel it moving down your throat, and you can feel the effects of it through your body.
Yes.
And that stilling, the energetic stilling that it does, it is a meditation.
Yes.
Just drinking it, just making it. And so one of the most profound lessons of cacao is ritual, is presence, is ceremony, is coming into that deeper spiritual connection with life. So you can join me online, julietbryant.com, from April 27th for 8 weeks for the Certified Online Ceremonial Cacao Practitioners Training, which is very, very exciting. I'm also running in-person trainings in February in Glastonbury and next year in America as well. So the website has all of those details on it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Juliet, and cheers.
Cheers.